Have you ever said something in anger that you wish you could take back? That one heated moment, that one sharp word, that one glare you gave someone, it changed everything. Maybe it ended a relationship. Maybe it scarred a friendship. Or maybe, just maybe, it turned you into someone you didn't recognize. If any of that feels familiar, you're not alone. But here's the truth, anger doesn't have to control you. You can learn to master it. And today, we're diving deep into 5 timeless Stoic lessons that will teach you exactly how to stop getting angry at people without bottling it up, without pretending you don't care, and without losing your sense of self. Before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome to Path to Peace, where we break down ancient wisdom into real-life strategies for love, life, and personal growth. So go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and most importantly, watch until the very end. Because what you're about to learn won't just help you stop getting angry, it could change the way you connect with the people you love most. Let's begin with a story. Lesson number 1, you're not angry at them, you're angry at your expectations. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been upset with someone? Not because of what they did, but because of what you expected them to do? It's wild how much pain lives in that space between expectation and reality. Let me share something personal. A few years ago, I planned a birthday dinner with someone I deeply cared about. I picked her favorite restaurant, bought a small gift I knew she'd love, even cleared my schedule for the entire evening. I expected a warm smile, gratitude, maybe even a surprise of her own. But she showed up late, barely said thank you, stayed on her phone half the night. I felt crushed. And slowly, that sadness morphed into frustration, then into quiet rage. Not the kind you explode with, but the kind that eats at you slowly. Later that night, I remember journaling, and what poured out was this line: I'm not angry at her. I'm angry at the story I created in my mind. That's what Stoicism teaches us. Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke. Let that sink in. Your anger is often a story, a mental projection of how things should be. We expect people to remember our birthday, to be considerate in traffic, to always speak to us with kindness. And when they don't, it's like our mind hits a wall it didn't see coming. But here's the truth. People don't owe you your version of them. The moment I realized that, I stopped trying to mold the world into something it never promised to be. And I started meeting people where they are, not where I want them to be. When someone disappoints you, ask yourself, what was I expecting? And why did I feel entitled to that? That single question can dissolve so much anger. It doesn't mean you become a doormat. It means you stop handing your peace over to people who don't even know they're holding it. You deserve peace, but it starts with letting go of the script you wrote for others in your head. Lesson number 2, other people's actions reflect their character, not yours. Ever had someone snap at you for no reason? Like out of nowhere? It's confusing, right? You start replaying everything you said, wondering if you did something wrong, but often it has nothing to do with you. Years ago, I worked with a guy, let's call him Rob. Every day, he walked in grumpy. No hellos, no smiles. Always barking orders, always correcting things in the most condescending way. For a long time, I took it personally. Thought I wasn't good enough. Maybe he just didn't like me. One day, I found out he was going through a brutal divorce. He was losing his home, fighting for custody of his kids. His world was crumbling, and I was just in the splash zone. Epictetus said, when someone does wrong, do not forget that he acts under the impression that it is right. Their behavior reflects them, not you. So when someone disrespects you, it's not always an attack. Sometimes it's a mirror of their own inner war. That doesn't mean you accept abuse. It means you stop absorbing their poison as your truth. You create space between you and their mess. Think about it. If someone hands you a gift and you don't accept it, where does it go? It stays with them. Same goes for their anger, their bitterness, their judgments. You don't have to carry what's not yours. Let them own their behavior. You just focus on staying grounded in your own, because that's real strength. When you stop making other people's storms about your self-worth. Lesson number 3, anger is temporary insanity. Delay is power. Let's be real. Anger is seductive. It feels righteous, justified, almost addictive. In that moment, it whispers, say it, send it, let them feel it. But then you do, and you can't take it back. Seneca said, anger, an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. I'll never forget one night when I got into an argument with someone I loved. She accused me of not caring, said I was distant, unavailable. I felt misunderstood, like she saw a version of me that wasn't real. The old me would have exploded, defended myself, maybe even said something I didn't mean. But that night something shifted. I just paused. I said, let's talk later. I need a moment. I went for a walk, no phone, just the night air. And in that quiet, I realized she wasn't attacking me. She was expressing pain the only way she knew how. When I returned, I didn't come back with fire, I came back with calm. And the conversation turned into healing instead of damage. That's the Stoic way: delay, breathe, observe. Your mind in the grip of anger is like a drunk pilot. You might still be flying, but you're not landing anywhere safe. So give yourself the gift of a gap. 10 seconds, a walk, a deep breath. Because anger wants urgency, but peace needs patience. And you deserve the kind of peace that doesn't unravel at the first sign of conflict. Lesson number 4, people are who they are. Accept, adapt, or walk away. You ever try to change someone? To fix them, heal them, pull them into a better version of themselves? Yeah, me too. There was a time I poured energy into someone who was emotionally unavailable. I thought, if I just love harder, if I just communicate better, they'll change. But they didn't. And I kept getting angry. At them, at myself, at the universe. Until I realized something Stoicism had been trying to teach me all along. People are who they choose to be, not who you want them to be. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Trying to change someone who isn't ready is like trying to make the wind blow in a different direction. You exhaust yourself and get nowhere. So you have 3 choices. Accept them as they are with eyes wide open. Adapt your expectations. Maybe they can stay in your life, just not in the role you imagined. Or just walk away with grace, not anger. That last one is tough, I know. But sometimes the most loving thing you can do for both of you is to let go. Because when you stop trying to fix people and start honoring reality, you make space for something better. Peace, clarity, and the freedom to choose relationships that nourish you, not drain you. Lesson number 5. You suffer more in imagination than in reality. Have you ever had a full-blown argument in your head? They didn't text back, and suddenly your mind spins. Did I offend them? Are they mad? Are they ghosting me? You replay conversations, create alternate endings, picture worst-case scenarios, all while they're probably just busy. Seneca said it perfectly. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. A few months ago, a close friend stopped replying to my messages. No explanation. No goodbye. Just silence. I convinced myself I must have done something wrong, that I was being punished. But weeks later, she reached out. She'd been dealing with a mental health crisis. She hadn't spoken to anyone. And there I was, building emotional prisons out of guesses and ghosts. That's what anger does when it's built on assumptions. It tricks us into defending ourselves from an enemy that only exists in our imagination. So when you catch yourself spiraling, ask, what's actually real? What do I know for certain? And what story am I making up? Often that gap between truth and imagination is where our pain lives. You don't need to believe every thought, especially the ones that make you angry without evidence. Ground yourself, breathe, and wait for clarity before judgment. Because when you stop feeding the fire of imagined insults, you find a silence that speaks louder than your fears ever could. Here's the truth. Anger is natural. It will rise. It will tempt you, but it doesn't have to own you. These 5 Stoic lessons aren't about suppressing emotion. They're about mastering your response. Let go of rigid expectations. Don't take everything personally. Pause before reacting. Stop trying to change people who don't want to change. And never trust the stories your fear writes in your mind. Choose peace, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.